Thanks for joining us. I'm Randall Bennett. Back in 2004, the family of a Marine who was killed in the war in Iraq was looking for access to his email account, which was held by Yahoo. The family went to Yahoo, and Yahoo said they couldn't do it because of privacy concerns and because they didn't have a policy on file previously for a situation like this. Now, a couple companies have sprung up to fix this problem by allowing access to a loved one's information and login credentials after they pass on. To talk about this, we have Jeremy Toman, the founder of Legacy Locker. Jeremy, thanks for joining us.
Hey, no problem. How you doing?
Doing well. So let's talk about Legacy Locker. The basic concept allows someone after they die to give their information to a family member. How does it all work?
It is pretty much as simple as you described. The user comes to the site, creates an account, and basically creates what we call information about digital assets. So that could be anything from an email account to maybe you're an eBay seller, or maybe you just have a credit at the iTunes store. You identify all your digital assets, and with each digital asset, you put in the information needed to use that asset. Then you assign digital beneficiaries. These are loved ones, good friends, coworkers, whatever the case might be. We send off a couple of emails to verify everything's in place, and then you're basically protected. It's really is easy to use and a simple service for people.
So do you guys have individual partnerships with each company, or is this more just like, you enter in text information that could work with any online provider?
At this point, we've started with you can enter in information about the account, because at the end of the day, there are literally hundreds or probably actually thousands of different types of accounts people might have online. So it's too hard to really just go create all the relationships needed. And also what's really the valuable part is the information about the account. Interestingly, we've spent a lot of time talking with family lawyers, estate planning attorneys, etc. And legally, all this stuff is actually pretty well covered. And in fact, in the case you gave, the family is legally entitled to that email account that you mentioned. The problem is, as Yahoo pointed out, there's just no policy in place to deal with it. So technically speaking, all of my assets are covered by my will. It's just a matter of my wife doesn't even know I have domain. Well, she does now, but my wife didn't even know I had domains registered at GoDaddy, right? And I own about 70 domains. If something bad were to happen, those actually have value. She could auction them off or whatever wants to do with them. But instead, even though we have a properly created will, we have an estate planner, they would just disappear into the ether because there's no link to those online accounts to my physical real world.
And you guys aren't the first company to do this. There's other ones out there like Death Switch and Slightly Morbid. Like, what sets you apart? How are you guys trying to be a little bit different than these other companies that are out there?
I think our focus is, and honestly, I haven't looked too many at too many of the other companies. They seem to be individual efforts, which obviously as entrepreneurs we really love. Our real focus is to build something in tandem with the way estate planning, wills, and trusts work today. At the end of the day, people tend to not like to think about negative events in their lives. Only 1 in 3 Americans with children have a will, right? So 2/3 of parents out there are not creating wills to document what happens to their assets, and that's real world stuff: houses, cars, 401ks. Similarly, I'll bet if we were to poll your audience, a small minority of them actually do backup of their data. So we don't like to think about loss. So our focus is, rather than try to convince people that this is so important to do, we're going to work with estate planners, family lawyers, financial advisors, etc., to help them become aware of the product and let them market it to their clientele.
And so with this, there's actually a fee involved, correct? Like there's some sort of...
That's right. It's either an annual fee at $29 or a one-time fee for $300.
Great.
And that's basically designed to keep everything running in the long term.
Great. Well, thanks for joining us, Jeremy Toman. It's legacylocker.com, correct?
That's right.
And it's up right now, so you can head to legacylocker.com. As always, techv.com is a place for information on all this and everything else. Jeremy, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on TechV. Later.
Great. Thanks a lot.